Bismillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wa hlul uqdatan min lisani yafqahu qawli. Rabbi yassir wa la tu'assir wa tamim bil khair. Question number 8. وإذ قال إبراهيم هنا إذ مفعول به لفعل محذوف تقديره اذكروا. So now we have one more example of hadf. And if you remember, I told you that Arabic is also called lughatul hadfi, like something has been omitted. So we have seen so many examples of sometimes like, the noun being omitted, sometimes the verb being omitted. And now we can see over here that whenever in the Quran we see وَإِذْ قَالَ إِبْرَاهِيمُ, always udhkuru is omitted over there. So it's basically وَذْكُرُوا إِذْ قَالَ إِبْرَاهِيمُ. So it will be like this in the Quran. من غير القرآن it will be وَذْكُرُوا إِذْ قَالَ إِبْرَاهِيمُ. But as we know that this is the uslub of the Quran and the uslub of the Arabic language, that sometimes something is being dropped or something being omitted. So it is وَإِذْ قَالَ إِبْرَاهِيمُ. And when you look at the translation, it will confirm that something is dropped over there or something is omitted over there. So we can see, remember when Ibrahim alayhi salam said. Now in this verse of the Quran, وَإِذْ قَالَ إِبْرَاهِيمُ, do we see udhkuru anywhere over here in this verse of the Quran?
No,
We don't see. So that means it is omitted.
it's omitted.
Yeah, and whenever you see this expression in the Quran, وَإِذْ قَالَ وَإِذْ قَالُوا, whenever you see this, the translation will always be you remember, or all of you remember. So this is something very important, inshallah, and I'm sure we will remember this now. Number 9, we have mauta jam'u mayyitun. As we know that mayyitun is someone who is dead, and the plural is mauta. وَهُوَ عَلَى وَزْنِ فَعْلَ, and it's on the plural pattern of fa'ala. غَيْرُ مُنَوَّنٍ, and it is without tanween, it does not have tanween. لِأَنَّهُ مَمْنُوعٌ مِنَ الصَّرْفِ. Why? Because it is dipped out, or it is mamnu min as-sarf. We know that a noun, when it is mamnu min as-sarf, it does not take tanween. It only takes dhamma or fatha, right? It does not take kasra. In certain cases, it can take kasra if there is al before it, but generally it will be Ibrahimu, Ibrahima, Ibrahima. Like when we pray, we say Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ala ali Muhammad kama sallaita ala Ibrahima, right? Ala Ibrahima. So we can see that after ala, Ibrahimu changes into Ibrahima, and it does not take kasra, because we know that a noun that is mamnu min as-sarf, it is ghayru munawwan, yani it does not have tanween, and similarly it does not take kasra. Munawwan. Can you please give me the past tense and the present tense and tell me if it is ismul fa'il or ismul maf'ul? And which verb form is this? Yeah, yes, please.
Nawwana, yunawwinu, tanween and
Tanween and mashallah tabarakallah. Okay, so this is fa'ala yufa'ilu taf'ilan, right? Yeah, so tanween means to produce the sound of noon, right? So when we say whenever a noun has tanween, basically tanween equals noon. So when we read it, we say, for example, Bilalun. So we don't write lun over there, we don't write noon over there, but we have the sound of the noon. That's why it is called tanween. And ghayru munawwan means it is ismul maf'ul, because it is munawwan on the pattern of mufa'al, and that means it does not accept tanween. Hati jam'a, and jam'a al-asma' al-atiyati ala wazni fa'ala. So on the pattern of fa'ala, we have to produce the plural. Maridun. So what should be the plural of maridun?
Marda.
Marda. Excellent. Marda. Perfect. Patients. Marid is patient, and marda, patients. Qatilun, someone who has been killed.
Qatla.
Qatla. Okay, now you can see here, qatilun, how did I translate? Someone who has been killed. Okay, so it is this ismul fa'il or ismul maf'ul? Someone who has been killed. Ismul maf'ul, right? Okay. Yeah, okay. So we say qatala yaqtulu fahuwa qatilun. And when we say qutila yuqtalu fahuwa maqtulun, right? Maqtulun. So please now, mashallah, you are advanced learners. So you should know now that sometimes ismul maf'ul can be, or there can be two ismul maf'ul for one noun. For example, we have maqtulun, and similarly we also have qatilun. So qatilun and maqtulun, both of them have the same meaning. What do they have? The same meaning. So whether we say maqtulun or we say qatilun, they have the same meaning. But you know, like the beauty of the Arabic language, that we know that it has lots of different varieties. So this is also marida yamradu maradun. So fahuwa maridun. But we don't have maridun. We have in Arabic maridun. So maridun, qatilun, and similarly jarihun is also ismul maf'ul, also the receiver of the action. What are the meaning of jarihun? Does someone remember?
Injury.
Jurhun. Mhm. Wounded person, right? The person who is wounded. Jarihun. And this is also ismul maf'ul. And the plural will be jarha. Jarha fil harbi, like the wounded persons in the war. Jarha. So this will be the plural. Asirun. Does anyone remember asirun? Captive. Someone who has been taken as a captive. Okay. And what will be the plural of asirun?
Asra, yes, sir.
Asra. Excellent. Okay. Very good. Okay. Asirun has been used in the Quran in Surah Al-Insan. وَيُطْعِمُونَ الطَّعَامَ عَلَى حُبِّهِ مِسْكِينًا وَيَتِيمًا وَأَسِيرًا. So وَيُطْعِمُونَ الطَّعَامَ عَلَى حُبِّهِ مِسْكِينًا وَيَتِيمًا وَأَسِيرًا. And they give food in spite of love for it to the needy, the orphan, and the captive. So that means feeding is also, it's like, as we know, it's very, very important in Islam, and especially feeding the captives is also very, or it is highly appreciated. So asir, and the plural is asra. Okay, then we have sari'un. Okay, what about the plural of sari'un?
Sar'a.
Sar'a. Okay. Surah Al-Haqqa. Does anyone remember Surah Al-Haqqa? Verse number 7. We have سخرها عليهم 7 ليال و8 أيام حسوما فترى القوم فيها سرعى كأنهم أعجاز نخل خاوية. Excellent. So sar'a is the plural of sari'un. Here in the Quran, when we say كأنهم أعجاز نخل خاوية, so sar'a is something that is fallen, something that has fallen down. So similarly, you know, in the like the boxing ring, when there are two wrestlers wrestling, and the one who has been defeated or someone who has been put down, that is called sari'un. And the plural is sar'a, someone who has been put down. And in the Quran we have, since it refers to the wind, yeah, which was there for 7 nights and 8 days in succession. So you would see the people therein fallen as if they were hollow trunks of the palm trees. So as if they were like the trunks of the palm trees. So sar'a, they are fallen down. Ahmaqu. First of all, do you remember the pattern of ahmaqu? On the pattern of af'alu, right? Af'alu. Okay, we know we have learned in book number 2, and also we have learned in book number 3. What is this pattern used for? It's used for
Only color, yes, sir.
colors and defects too, please. Also defects. Like we have learned, like a'raju. A'raju, someone is like lame person, yeah. And we say for the feminine, what do we say? Arja'u. A'raju, what do we say? Arja'u. Okay, so ahmaqu, what will be the plural of ahmaqu?
Hamqa'u.
La. Here we are looking at not the singular, we are looking at the plural, yeah? Same pattern. qatla, jarha, asra, sar'a, and hamqa, right? Hamqa. So hamqa is used for plural. It can include all, it can include men and women, all of them together. So we say, ha'ula an-nasu hamqa. These people are like kind of foolish, right? So what will be the feminine of ahmaqu? Okay, it will be
That is the
hamqa'u. Hamqa'u. What is the feminine of ahmaq? Hamqa'u. So now you see the difference between these two. One we can see over here is hamqa, and the second one is hamqa'u. Okay. So what is the difference? Hamqa is the plural of ahmaq. That means plural men and women, including everyone. But when we say هذه الفتاة حمقاء, that means this girl is foolish. So for singular will be hamqa'u, and for masculine we say ahmaqu. So it's for singular, and this is for singular masculine, and this is singular feminine, right? Singular feminine, and it's on the pattern of fa'la'u, pattern of fa'la'u, and the plural is hamqa. So the difference is little bit, there is a slight difference in pronunciation. So this is hamqa and this is hamqa'u. And if you stop here, then we will say hamqa, hamqa, because hamza, when it becomes sakin, and then it is slightly like with a jerk, we say hamqa. Okay. Rabbi arini. Okay, now here we have different ways of saying Rabbi, like oh my Lord. So basically, what expression is this? Rabb is mudaf, and ya al-mutakallim is mudaf ilayh, right? So it was basically Rabbi. What was it? Rabbi. And we know that, as I told you in the beginning of the lesson, that Arabic is called Lughatul Hadf, and you will see that lots of things are being omitted into it. So we can see over here, it was basically Rabbi, and what happened? Ya has been dropped, so it becomes Rabbi. And even if it is like Ya before this, Ya Rabbi, it can also be translated as Ya Rabbi, and also Ya is omitted as well. So like Nuh alayhi salam said, Rabbi inni da'awti qawmi laylan wa nahara. Rabbi inni da'awtu qawmi laylan wa nahara. So Rabbi is basically, it is Ya al-mutakallim over there, but most of the times this Ya is dropped as well. And when Ibrahim alayhi salam said, Rabbi arini, oh my Lord, show me. So when you look at the translation will be, oh my Lord. So where is my? That Ya has been dropped. Rabbi arini, show me. Huna Rabbi asluhu Ya Rabbi, as we can see over here. Hudhifa minhu harfun nida'i. So what happened? Harfun nida has been omitted. Wa ya'u al-mutakallim, sorry, and also Ya al-mutakallim has been omitted. So how many things have been omitted? Ya, Ya, which is harfun nida, and also Ya al-mutakallim has been omitted. And what is left over there? We can see over here, Rabbi. هذا مثال للمنادى المضاف إلى يا المتكلم. And this is the example of, we know that whenever we have munada, yani whenever we have ya, and after that we have mudaf, mudaf ilayh, what do we call that? Munada lil mudaf ila ya al mutakallim. So whenever we have ya al mutakallim, which comes basically after ya, so what happens? Most of the times it gets dropped. So it was basically Ya Rabbi. So in the Quran, Ya is dropped, and similarly Ya al-Mutakallim is also dropped. And what we have left over there is Rabbi. Okay, yajuzu fi ya'ihi khamsatu awjuhin wahiya, and there are 5 different possibilities for this. So how many possibilities do we have? 5. Okay, so what are those? حذفها مع بقاء الكسرة. Sometimes it is dropped, but the kasra is maintained. بقي يبقى بقاء, to retain. So what happens? حذفها مع بقاء الكسرة. So what happens? kasra is dropped, but it remains, it is dropped, but the kasra is not dropped. Nahwu ya Rabbi. So what happened over here? Ya has been dropped, but kasra is retained, right? وَهَذَا هُوَ الْأَكْثَرُ, and this is the most commonly used expression, we can say. وَهَذَا هُوَ الْأَكْثَرُ, yani this is used a lot. And we have the examples of this, more of these examples in the Quran, as we can see. Number one. So number one, what happens? Yes, can someone please tell me? Ya al-mutakallim is dropped.
But kasra remains there. Ustad.
Excellent. So ma baqa il kasrati, yani kasra is retained, but ya is omitted. Hadfuha, ha refers to ya. It refers to ya, yani ya is omitted. Okay, that's number one. Number two, ithbat. Yes, ithbat. Any ideas about this noun? Athbata, yuthbitu, ithbatan, right? From number 4. Ithbatul ya'i sakinatan. To keep ya as sakin, yani to maintain it to be sakin, or to make ya sakin. Nahwu ya Rabbi. So what happened over here? Ya has become sakin. Hada dun al-awwali fil kathrati, and it is used less than the first possibility. So the first possibility is Rabbi, which is used the most, and then the second, we can say, second most used expression is Ya Rabbi, where we have Ya is retained, but it becomes what? It becomes sakin. So in number one, Ya is dropped and kasra is maintained, and in number two, Ya is retained, but it becomes sakin. Number three, ithbatul ya'i maftuhatan, and to keep ya as maftuh, yani to keep it with fatha. Nahwu ya Rabbiya. So it's also possible to say it ya Rabbiya. So what happened? That ya is kept and it is given fatha as well. Maftuhatun, yani it carries fatha. Okay. Next is qalbul ya'i alifan. Qalb, as we know, qalaba yaqlibu qalban is to turn. Qalbul ya'i alifan, turning ya into alif. So what happens? Ya turns into alif. Nahwu ya Rabba. So it's also possible to say ya Rabba. وقد تلحقها هاء السكت عند الوقف. And also when you decide to stop, then also we can add هاء السكت after that as well. For example, نحو يا رباه. So also when you stop and you don't have anything after that, so we can also say Ya Rabbah. So subhanallah, now we can see over there. Okay, so this is not only restricted to Rabb only. For example, you have a sister and you can also say Ya Ukhta. And even if you have a brother, you can say Ya Akha. And even if you have uncle, you can say Ya Amma. And in the old classical Arabic, the real Arabic, Fusha Arabic, they used to use this expression a lot. What expression? Ya Rabba, and after that, Ha'al-Sakti. So Ya Rabba. So we can also say Ya Rabba. Also we can say Ya Ukhta, and we can also say Ya Amma. And then the last one is Qalbul Ya'i Alifan, and turning ya into alif, وحذفها, and dropping it. والاستغناء عنها بالفتحة. And then istighna. Does anyone remember the meaning of istighna? Let me give you the example. For example, in Surah Abasa, right? We have Surah Abasa. Abasa wa tawalla an ja'ahu al-a'ma wa ma yudrika la'allahu yazzakka aw yadhakkaru fatanfa'u dhikra amma man istaghna. Yeah. As for he who thinks himself without need. While istighna, yani istaghna, something without need. While istighna'u anha bil fathati, and sometimes it does not need fatha as well. Nahwu, for example, ya Rabba. So it takes fatha. Sorry, so it has to take fatha as well. So it becomes ya Rabba, ya Rabba. يجمع هذه الأوجه أوجها قولنا. So all these patrons, أوج patrons, are being gathered into one expression. What is that? Rabbi, Rabbi, Rabba, Rabba, and Rabbiya. So all these possibilities are there. So how many possibilities are there? 5. Rabbi, which is the most common. That's number 1. Then the second most common is Rabbi. Rabba is used as well if there is Ya before that. So Ya Rabbal Alameen. So this is the third one. I think the fourth one hasn't been used in the Quran. And after that, we can also add Ha or Sakt. And similarly, Rabbiya, I guess it's not used in the Quran, but when we connect it with something else, for example, Rabbi al-A'la, then we put Fatha onto that as well. So these are some of the possibilities of Ya al-Mutakallim. And when Ya al-Mutakallim is used as Mudaf ilayhi. Is this clear? Now you will be saying, Ya Rabbah, ma hadhihi Ya al-Mutakallim. And it has so many possibilities. All right, so let's move on. We have seen in lesson number 14 of this book that Jawab al-Shart, if Jawab al-Shart is a nominal sentence, it should take fa. Shart and Jawab al-Shart, we have discussed a lot about it. For example, we have here وَإِذَا مَرِضْتُ فَهُوَ يَشْفِينَ. So now we can see here that here Jawab al-Shart وَإِذَا مَرِضْتُ, and when I become sick. So we know that this is condition and this is Jawab al-Shart, and we know that Jawab al-Shart, when it's a nominal sentence, then it has to take fa with that. So we can see over here Jawab al-Shart is a nominal sentence, so we can see that it is connected with fa. Fahuwa yashfin. What about yashfin? What does it mean? And he gives me shifa. So what's ni? What's ni over here?
يشفي
Ni, yashfi ni. Excellent. Yeah, because there is nothing called yashfin in Arabic language. So shafa yashfi. So yashfi, and it is basically yashfini, and again, ya al-mutakallim has been dropped. Like we have in Surah Al-Kafirun, lakum dinukum waliya di ni, right? Ni. So is it di ni with ya al-mutakallim, or is it only kasra? Only
الكسرة دي.
kasra. Okay, yeah, excellent. So what happened? That ya al-mutakallim has been dropped as well. So this is very important, and whenever you are reciting the Quran, especially when it comes with the verb, and when there is noon with kasra, that means that 99% of the chances are there that ya al-mutakallim has been dropped. Whenever I get sick, he heals me or he gives me shifa. So when we say he heals me, Allah Azza wa Jal, so where is me? That is yashfi ni. The fa can be replaced with idha al-fujaiyah. We have learned about idha al-fujaiyah. So it can be replaced with that. So sometimes when we have Jawab al-Shart, and Jawab al-Shart is the nominal sentence, it is possible that we can have it replaced with idha. For example, وَإِذَا ذُكِرَ الَّذِينَ مِن دُونِهِ إِذَا هُمْ يَسْتَبْشِرُونَ. So it was basically fahum. It was what? Fahum yastabshirun. So the first part is shart, and the second part is Jawab al-Shart. But again, we can see that this is the usloob of the Quran. So what happened? Fa has been replaced with what? With idha al-fujaiyah. You remember idha al-fujaiyah? فهي الثوبان المبين. إذا هو الثوبان المبين. You remember that? In Surah Taha, we learned about that. That it is used to express surprise. It is used to express what? Surprise. So in the Quran, instead of fa, it can be replaced with idha as well. So if you look at the translation, then inshallah it will be clear. And when those whom they worship beside him are mentioned, surprisingly, they rejoice. They rejoice. The non-believers. So we can see over here that instead of fahum yastabshirun, it has been replaced with إِذَا هُمْ يَسْتَبْشِرُونَ. And the same thing over here in Arabic, إِذَا هُمْ يَسْتَبْشِرُونَ. إِذَا كَانَ جواب الشرط جملة اسمية. So if جواب الشرط is nominal sentence, وجب اقترانه بالفاء. It is necessary, it is mandatory that it should be connected with fa. كما علمت, as you know. ويجوز إقامة إذا الفجائية مقام الفاء. And similarly, it is possible to establish or to bring إذا الفجائية in place of fa. So as I mentioned over here, that instead of فهم يستبشرون, it is also possible to have إذا هم يستبشرون. Is this clear? Yes or no? So,
Yes.
everyone is quiet,
Yes,
sir.
Ustad.
Okay.
Yes, Ustad.
Okay. All right. Now we have here, we can just go through a little bit faster about idgham, and we have been discussing about idgham from book 2, as starting from book 2, and in lesson number 29 we discussed this in detail about idgham and what are the conditions and how we make it. So does anyone remember example, what is the idgham first of all? Yes, what is idgham?
It's
When-
joining of two words joined together, it becomes it's shadda, Ustad.
Excellent. When two letters are the same, please remember, yeah?
Mm.
We can't really join any of the two letters together. When two letters are the same, for example, hajja, so we basically, it is ha, and then we have jim, and then we have jim. So the original pattern will be hajaja, hajaja. But as we know that it's difficult to pronounce hajaja, so what the Arabs do if they find something difficult, or when the two letters are the same, then we assimilate them, we put them together, and then we put a tashdid onto that. And then just to know that tashdid tells us that there were two letters and they have been merged into one, so it becomes hajja. It becomes what? Hajja. And similarly we have yahjuju, and yahjuju becomes yahujju. Hajja, yahujju. So here we have yahujju, yahujjani, yahujjuna, and similarly tahujju, tahujjani. And when we talk about for the feminine plural, for the ghaib, third person, then idgham has to be opened up. Yahjujna. Now here it's not possible to do idgham because one of them we can see yahjunna doesn't make any sense. So that's why it has to be yahjujna. Similarly, tahujju, tahujjani, tahujjuna, tahujjina, tahujjani, and tahjujna. So we know that these two for the feminine plural, for the second person and the third person, they do not have idgham for the feminine, right? And then ahujju and nahujju, they also have idgham. So we know that there are 14 forms or sighas of every verb. And whenever we have idgham, it is applicable to 12, and 2 of them, they do not accept idgham. And we will see the reason. We have discussed about this, and we will see here again. So this process is called al-idghamu, yani assimilation. Only the 2 forms do not undergo idgham because they are isnaded to mutaharrik pronouns, because they are connected to mutaharrik pronouns. So that's why they do not accept idgham. Now in the Mudari, Majzoom, these 4 forms, for example, Yahujju, Tahujju, Ahujju, Nahujju, have 2 possibilities. How many possibilities do they have? 2. What are those? One with idgham and the other without idgham. So there are 2 possibilities. When it is Mudari, Majzoom, yani when we have lam before this, or when we have la an-nahiya before this, then there is a possibility that we can read it with idgham. For example, lam yahujja, but you know that was basically hujju, yahujju, and we know that because of lam, dhamma has changed into fatha. Do you remember that? Because whenever we have lam has to make mudari majzoom. So basically there were 2 jims over there, and what happened because of idgham? So we can't see that there are 2 jims. We cannot make the jim sakin. We can't say lam yahu. It's impossible. So we have lam yahujju, and because of lam, it has become lam yahujja. So Dhamma has changed into what? It has changed into Fatha. That is the first possibility. And the second possibility is that we don't do idgham. So it becomes lam yahjuj. So this is the real form. Lam yahjuj, same pattern. Lam yadhhab. Lam yadhhab, he didn't go. And lam yahjuj, he did not perform hajj. Okay. So when we do idgham, then we have to change dhamma into fatha. And then when we don't do idgham, then the pattern will be the similar to regular mudari when it becomes majzoom. For example, yaf'alu, what will be the majzoom form of yaf'alu? Yaf'alu. So if I have
يفعل
lam before this, it becomes what?
لم يفعل
Yaf'al, excellent. And similarly, it becomes lam yahjuj. So they are the same. If you see over here, we have ya, then we have the second letter is sakin, and here the second letter is sakin. The third one is mutaharrik, and here also it is mutaharrik. And the fourth one is sakin, and here also it is sakin. So there are two possibilities. So remember that originally, yahujju is what? Yahjuju. It is yahjuju, yaf'alu. So on the pattern of yahjuju, and after idgham, it has become yahujju. After idgham, it has become what? Yahujju. I don't know if you remember these changes or not. We discussed long back, but inshallah, it's a review for us. So that's why I'm spending some time onto this. Okay, so in the same way, when you say lam tahujja, lam ahujja, lam nahujja, we can also say lam tahjuj, lam ahjuj, and lam nahjuj. Yani this is with idgham, and this is without idgham. So this is the real form, and this is the form after assimilation. In the amr of the second person masculine singular also has the same possibility. So if we want to make fi'l al-amr, what do we say? Hujja, yani perform hajj. And similarly, we can say uhjuj, yani you perform hajj. And we have discussed that. Okay, so now when we move on to the process of removing the idgham is called fakkul idgham. So what happens when you remove the idgham? Fakka yafukku, fakkan means to open up. So fakkul idgham means opening up the idgham. And in the Quran, it has been used in both ways in the Quran. Sometimes it has been used with idgham, and sometimes the mudari has been used without idgham. And we can see the example over here. قالت أن يكون لي غلام ولم يمسسني بشر. يمسسني. So is it with idgham or without idgham?
Without the
Without. Excellent. Perfect. So that's why we call this fakkul idgham, yani the idgham has been opened up. If it is with idgham, it will be lam yamussani. It will be lam yamussani if it is without idgham. But with idgham, it becomes lam yamsasni basharun. Similarly, we have wa man yudlilillahu. So yudlilillah. Okay, please give me the real form of, or give me the form of yudlil. Give me the form with idgham.
ظل
Okay, adalla yudillu. It was yudillu, yeah? Yudillu. Because when you see dhamma in the beginning, then the possibility is that it is from number 4. Adalla yudillu. Okay, now mudari is majzoom. Why is it majzoom?
without idgham, that's why answer.
man is short, no?
Yeah, excellent. Man
Yeah.
is adatu shart. Yeah, so
Adatu
because of
shart.
man, it was basically, it should be with the idgham, it will be وَمَن يُضِلَّ. وَمَن يُضِلَّ. But if you open up the idgham, then it becomes وَمَن يُضْلِلْ. وَمَن يُضْلِلْ. Okay, and we know that hamza of lafzul jalala is hamzatul wasl, and whenever we connect it with kasra. So it becomes وَمَن يُضْلِلِ اللَّهُ فَمَا لَهُ مِنْ هَادٍ. So this is the idgham is opened up over here as well. And in the Quran, as I said, the both of the possibilities are there. And similarly, we can see here al-mudari wal-bayzumu bis-sukuni wal-amru wal-mabniyu alayhi min al-fi'l al-muda'afi yajuzu fihi ma al-adghamu wal-fakku. So the Shaykh is telling us that whenever we have the muda'af, yani the doubled verb, then in amr And similarly, when the mudari is majzoom, then there are two possibilities. What are those possibilities? We can use it with idgham, and we can also use it without idgham, as we have seen over here. Is this clear? Yes or no?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Alhamdulillah.
Okay, so if you look at, inshallah, if you look at Surah An-Nur, inshallah, verse number 30, when you open up your Mus'haf, you will see that it is قُلْ لِلْمُؤْمِنِينَ يَغُضُّوا مِنْ أَبْصَارِهِمْ. لِلْمُؤْمِنِينَ يَغُضُّوا مِنْ أَبْصَارِهِمْ. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that tell the believing men to lower their gaze, to lower their gaze. This is verse number 30. So this is with idgham. I'm just telling you. So Surah Al-Nur, verse number 30. And when you look at verse number 31 of Surah Nur, that is without idgham. So these two are very good examples for you to understand. So it will be وَقُلْ لِلْمُؤْمِنَاتِ يَغْضُضْنَ مِنْ أَبْصَارِهِنْ. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that tell the believing women to reduce or to lower their gaze. Okay. So inshallah, whenever you're reading and reciting the Quran, now it's very important for us to look at these small changes that we can see over here. Similarly, when we have mudari majzoom, so it can be lam yashudda, and similarly it can be lam yashdud. So this is without idgham, and this is with idgham. Similarly, shudda, and when you want to make fi'l al-amr, it could be shudda, and also it can be ushdud. There are two possibilities. Because it is from bab nasara yansuru, so shudda yashuddu, and then it will be ushdud. Wa fit tanzili wahlul uqdatan min lisani. Wahlul halla yahullu is to open up. So it could be wa hulla, there is a possibility, hulla, and also it can be wahlul. So this here the idgham is opened up. So this is with assimilation, and this is without assimilation. I hope it's clear now.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So it's been something that we have been discussing from the beginning, starting from book number 2. So inshallah, with the practice, we will get used to it. Now, the last kind of ma that we are going to discuss about, ma naw'u ma fi kama yatakallamu ahlu Fransa. Okay, so we have 3 types of ma here. Okay. Ma naw'u, what kind of ma is this?
Istifham.
Istifham, excellent,
Istifham.
perfect. Yeah. Ma naw'u ma. So here the Sheikh is asking us that what is the type of ma
Ma musula.
kama yatakallamu ahlu Fransa, as the people of France speak. So this is ma al-mawsula. Excellent. And
Hasina mustariya.
yeah, okay. Why do you say mawsula? Mawsula, please remember that whenever it comes after the preposition ma al-mawsula, then it comes without alif. And ma al-masdariya, as we can see over here, it comes with alif, kama as. Okay. For example, we have in the Quran, amma yatasa'alun, about what they are asking. About what they are asking. So it is basically the combination of an plus.
After this ma, the masdar muawwal, no? Yatakallamu.
Yes. Yeah. So here you can see over here that an plus ma is an ma, and because there is idgham over here, it becomes and then alif has been dropped. Okay, so it's the simplest way to figure out. So if after the preposition alif has been dropped, that will be ma al-mawsula. And if after the preposition alif is not dropped, then it will be ma al-masdariya. Is this clear? Or you want me to repeat it?
Yeah, please.
Okay, so like in the Quran, we have an Surah Al-Naba, yeah, an plus ma, an ma. How does Surah Al-Naba start? Amma yatasa'alun, right? So Yeah. Is it with alif or without alif?
Without alif.
Without
Okay.
alif.
Excellent. So without alif. So after the preposition, when we have ma and the alif has been dropped, that means it is ma al mausula. It is what? Ma al mausula. And it will be translated as about what are they asking? Amma, about what? So whenever we get the meaning of like what, then that means this is ma al mausula. Similarly, in the Quran we have lima taquluna ma la taf'alun. Lima taquluna is also li plus ma without alif. Lima taquluna ma la taf'alun. Why do you say that you don't do? So that means this is ma al mausula. And if after the preposition you see that the alif has not been dropped, that means it is what? Ma al masdariya.
Masdariya. Mm.
Is this clear
Yeah.
now?
Yeah.
Alhamdulillah.
Mm.
Okay.
After
Ma-
preposition.
Yes, after preposition, yes.
Mhm. Okay.
So whenever you see in the Quran, whenever you see the preposition, and after the preposition we have meme, but the alif has been dropped, that means this is ma al mausula. And if the alif has not been dropped, that means this is ma al masdariya. Ma mufradul juludi. What is the singular of julud? Skin.
Jildun.
Jildun. Okay. Mufraduhu jildun. اذكر باب كل فعل مما يأتي. And now Sheikh is asking us to mention the bab of every verb that we see over here. Istanshara. What do you think? Which bab is this? Istaf. Yes, yes, yes. Istaf'ala. Yes, istaf'ala. Excellent. Okay. Taqa'ara. Tafa'ala. Alhamdulillah. I'm so happy you remember now. Then we have istabshara.
Istaf'ala.
Istaf'ala. And then we have lana.
Lana Zara. Fa'ala.
Excellent. Yeah, fa'ala.
Fa'ala.
Excellent. Fa'ala. So
Yeah.
this is fa'ala. Yaf'ilu. Lana yalinu. Daraba yadribu. So we have lana yalinu. And that means to be soft or to be softened. Lana yalinu.
Mm.
So this is fa'ala yaf'ilu daraba yadribu. Okay. And before we complete our lesson, finally there is a small gift for all of us. There is another type of ma that we can see over here. In the hadith we have seen ma lam yugharghir ay muddata adam al-ghargharati. هذا ما المصدرية الظرفية. So this ma has two possible, it has a name, long name, al-masdariya al-dharfiyya. Haka amthilatan ukhra. Here are some more examples for you. And inshallah, I will, when we look at the examples, it will be easy for you to figure out how to figure this out, inshallah. سيبقى الإسلام ما بقي العالم. Islam will stay as long as the world stays. Okay, so what is the translation? As long as. Okay, so whenever you have this translation of as long as, that means this is ma al-masdariya al-dharfiyya. What kind of ma is this? Ma al-masdariya al-dharfiyya. What translation do we have? سيبقى الإسلام ما بقي العالم. Yani inshallah the Islam will be there as long as the world is there. أي مدة بقاء العالم. Yani to the limit of the existence of the universe. So as long as the universe exists, Islam will exist. أطيعوني ما أطعت الله ورسوله. Follow me as long as I follow Allah and His Rasul. أي مدة إطاعتي الله ورسوله. Yani the period of my following Allah and His Messenger. اجلس في هذا الكرسي ما لم يأتي صاحبه. Sit in this chair as long as its owner or the person who sits on it doesn't come. So ما لم يأتي, as long as he doesn't come. أي مدة عدم إتيان صاحبه. Yani and the period of time until its owner comes or the person who occupies it comes. Okay, so whenever we have ma And whenever it comes with the word that gives the meaning of time, for example, here it gives the meaning of time, right? As long as. So whenever it gives the meaning of time, that means it is ma al-masdariyya al-dharfiyya. In the Quran we have وَجَعَلَنِي مُبَارَكًا أَيْنَمَا كُنْتُ وَأَوْصَانِي بِالصَّلَاةِ وَالزَّكَاةِ مَا دُمْتُ حِيًّا. مَا دُمْتُ حِيًّا. Ma dama, as we know, ma dama. So it is a combination of ma plus time, dama. So as long as I am alive. And he has made me blessed wherever I am and has enjoined upon me prayer and zakah as long as I remain alive. So whenever you get the meaning of as long as, that means it is what kind of ma is this? Ma al-dharfiyya, we can say, or ma al-masdariyya al-dharfiyya. Okay, before we leave, I have one more question. What kind of ma is this? وَجَعَلَنِي مُبَارَكًا أَيْنَمَا كُنْتُ أَيْنَمَا. I gave you, like we discussed in detail in the previous lesson. And I told you that whenever ma comes with dharf, yeah? Whenever ma comes with dharf, and there is a dharf adverb before this, then it is ma al-masdariyya. Ma al-masdariyya. Like أينما, بينما, حينما, بعدما. اللهم بسمك أموت وأحيا. And similarly, we have, when we wake up, what dua do we make? Do you remember?
Yes, Alhamdulillah, di ahyana ma
بعدما. Yeah, بعدما أماتنا. Yeah. So Alhamdulillah الذي أحيانا بعدما أماتنا. So we have what? بعدما. Okay. So what is bad? You remember bad? Dharf. Excellent. So whenever ma comes after dharf, this is ma al-masdariyya. And similarly, we have aina. What is aina? Aina is also a dharf. And after that, we have ma. So that means this is ma al-masdariyya. So whenever we have indama, aynama, hinama, ba'dama, that means this is ma al-masdariyya. So alhamdulillah, I remember that we have completed 10 different types of ma in Arabic language, starting from ma al-istifham or ma al-istifhamiyya, starting from that and completing up to ma al-masdariyya al-dharfiyya. I remember like a week ago, I shared it in the group as well, WhatsApp group. So you can refer to that as well. And inshallah, if we get some time in the future, we will try to revise all these types of ma with one example, at least one example from the Quran. So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to help us, inshallah, learn more and more about Arabic and the Quran and keep us steadfast. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Walaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.